An exhausted black single father and his son, seated by chance in first class, become the unlikely saviors when a medical crisis forces a brilliant but emotionally frozen tech CEO to confront everything she's buried. And when corporate betrayal strikes at 30,000 feet, the man she dismissed reveals a past that changes everything. Marcus Hayes stood at the boarding gate with his 7-year-old son, Caleb, pressed against his side, both of them looking at the boarding pass like it was a golden ticket they didn't deserve. Seat 8A, first class. It had been a computer error. The gate agent had explained it 3 times, apologetic, confused. The flight was overbooked. They'd been bumped up. Marcus had nodded, not wanting to make a scene, not wanting anyone to look too closely and change their minds. His uniform, navy blue with Hayes Security Services, stitched on the chest, was clean but worn at the elbows. His duffel bag was military issue, 15 years old. Caleb's backpack had a broken zipper, held together with a safety pin. "Dad," Caleb whispered, eyes wide, "are we really sitting in the fancy seats?" Marcus crouched down, smoothing his son's hair. "Yeah, buddy, just this once." "Because of the mix-up?" "Because sometimes," Marcus said quietly, "the universe decides to be kind." He didn't mention that they'd been sleeping in their car for the past 3 nights. Didn't mention that his second job had fallen through, or that the eviction notice was still folded in his back pocket. Didn't mention that this trip to Chicago, to his late wife's family, people who'd never approved of him, was a last-ditch attempt to give Caleb stability. Sarah would have known what to do. Sarah always knew. But Sarah had been gone for 2 years. The flight attendant's smile faltered when Marcus and Caleb approached row 8. "Sir, this is first class." "I know." Marcus handed her the boarding pass. "They told us at the gate?" She scanned it twice. Her smile went brittle. "I see. Well, this way." The cabin was a different world. Leather seats, warm lighting, the scent of expensive cologne and fresh coffee. Every passenger looked up as Marcus and Caleb entered, and Marcus felt the familiar weight of being seen, being measured, being found wanting. A woman in pearls whispered something to her husband. A man in a gray suit shifted his briefcase to block the aisle, forcing Marcus to squeeze past. Caleb's hand tightened in his. "It's okay," Marcus murmured. "We belong here same as anyone." They didn't believe it. Neither did he. Alana Voss entered first class like winter itself, sharp black suit, platinum hair pulled into a ruthless bun, phone pressed to her ear, assistant trailing behind with a tablet and 3 leather bags. "I don't care if the board is uncomfortable," Alana said into the phone, her voice cut glass. "We're restructuring regardless. If they want to keep their positions, they'll vote my way. End of discussion." She was 34 years old and already legendary in Silicon Valley. Voss Core Technologies had made her a billionaire by 30. Forbes called her the algorithm that became human, though some questioned whether the human part was accurate. Her assistant, Jordan, hovered nervously. "Ms. Voss, you're in 8C, but I can request a row change if—" "It's a 2-hour flight, Jordan. I'll survive." Alana's eyes swept the cabin and landed on Marcus and Caleb in 8A. Her expression didn't change, but something flickered. Assessment. Calculation. Marcus felt himself shrink instinctively. Alana slid into 8C, immediately pulling out her laptop. The assistant stowed her bags and retreated to economy. The man in 8B, a corporate type with nervous energy, practically vibrated with the need to impress her. "Voss. Gerald Chen. Chen Digital Solutions." "I've been following your work with predictive AI. Absolutely revolutionary. I'd love to discuss potential synergies." "I'm working." Alana didn't look up. Gerald deflated. Caleb, strapped into 8A by the window, was staring at the clouds through the glass, oblivious to the tension. Marcus tried to disappear into his seat. 15 minutes into the flight, Caleb dropped his coloring book. It slid across the aisle and landed at Alana's feet. A cheap dollar store book with superheroes on the cover, most pages already filled in. Caleb unbuckled and scrambled to retrieve it. Caleb. Marcus reached for him, but the boy was already there, face to face with Alana Voss. "Sorry," Caleb said, grabbing the book. Then he noticed her laptop screen. Lines of code, data visualizations, complex algorithms. His eyes went huge. Whoa, that looks like the stuff Dad used to do. Alana's fingers paused on the keyboard. She looked at the child as if he were a particularly unusual insect. "Your father codes?" "He used to. Before." Caleb stopped, glancing back at Marcus. Some things he'd learned not to say. Marcus felt heat crawl up his neck. "Caleb, sit down, buddy." But Alana was looking at him now. Really looking. "You're a software engineer?" "Was." Marcus's voice came out rougher than intended. "Long time ago." "And now?" "Security. Night shifts, mostly." The judgment in the cabin was palpable. Gerald Chen actually smirked. But Alana's expression was unreadable. Interesting career change. It wasn't a compliment. It was an observation, clinical and cold. Caleb, immune to subtext, pointed at her screen. "Are you building something?" "An acquisition model." "What's that?" "It predicts which companies will fail, so I can buy them cheaply." Caleb frowned. "That sounds mean." For the first time, the faintest crack appeared in Alana's armor. A tiny upturn at the corner of her mouth. Gone in an instant. "Business isn't about being nice. It's about being effective. My dad's nice and effective." Marcus wanted to disappear. "Caleb, seat, now." The boy returned reluctantly. But Alana was still watching them, and Marcus couldn't shake the feeling that they'd just been entered into some equation he didn't understand. The flight attendant, name tag reading Vanessa, approached with the beverage cart, smile warm for the first-class passengers. "Champagne, whiskey, we also have." She stopped at row 8, eyes landing on Marcus. The warmth evaporated. "Sir, can I see your boarding pass again?" Marcus felt his jaw tighten. "I showed it when I boarded." "I know. But there's been some confusion. We just need to verify." "He's in the right seat." Alana's voice cut through the cabin like a blade. She didn't look up from her laptop. "You scanned his pass yourself. Move on." Vanessa's face flushed. "Ms. Voss, I didn't mean." "I said move on." The cart rolled away. Marcus exhaled slowly, surprised. Caleb was grinning. "She's like a superhero," Caleb whispered. Marcus wasn't sure about that, but he nodded thanks in Alana's direction. She ignored him completely. Gerald Chen, emboldened by 3 whiskeys, leaned across the aisle toward Marcus during the meal service. "So, security, huh?" His smile was all teeth. "Guess we all gotta do what we can. Must be tough, though, raising a kid on that salary." Marcus set down his fork carefully. "We manage." "Still, first class." Gerald gestured around. "Bet this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing for you guys, right? Soak it in." Caleb's face fell. Marcus felt something hot and familiar rise in his chest, the same rage that had once gotten him in trouble. The same rage he'd spent 2 years learning to swallow. "My son and I," Marcus said quietly, "have every right to be here." "Hey, no offense, man, just saying." "You're saying that our presence makes you uncomfortable." Alana closed her laptop with a sharp click. Her eyes, ice blue and merciless, fixed on Gerald. "You're saying that you believe class and income determine human worth. You're saying that you're a bigot with expensive taste in whiskey." Gerald's face went scarlet. "I never." "Save it." Alana reacquired her laptop. "I acquire and dismantle 3 companies a quarter. Men like you end up working for men like me, or not working at all. Speak to them again, and I'll make it my personal mission to find out who you work for and ensure it's the latter." The cabin went silent. Gerald stared at his lap for the rest of the flight. Caleb looked at Alana like she'd personally hung the moon. Marcus felt something shift in his chest. Gratitude, yes, but also recognition. This woman was powerful, dangerous, and for some reason, she'd chosen to shield them. Why? 30 minutes later, Caleb fell asleep against the window, coloring book open on his lap. Alana stood to use the restroom. On her way back, she paused at row 8, looking down at the sleeping child. "He's a good kid," she said quietly. Marcus looked up, surprised she was speaking to him. "He's my whole world." And his mother? The question was blunt, typical of her. But Marcus still felt the wound open. Cancer. 2 years ago. Alana's expression didn't change, but her eyes did something complicated. "I'm sorry." "Me too." She hesitated, and for a moment Marcus saw past the armor, saw exhaustion, saw loneliness, saw something breaking. Then she sat back down and the wall went up again. But Marcus had seen it. The crack. It happened fast. Gerald Chen stood to retrieve something from the overhead bin. His face went gray. His hand clutched his chest. I can't." He collapsed into the aisle. Chaos erupted. Passengers screamed. Vanessa rushed forward, shouting into the intercom, "Medical emergency in first class. Is there a doctor on board?" Silence. Alana stood, gripping her armrest. Marcus saw her face, saw the fear there, quickly hidden. Vanessa tried CPR, but her hands were shaking. "Someone, anyone, please." Marcus was moving before he thought about it. "I've got him." His voice carried command, the voice of someone used to emergencies, to blood, to chaos. He dropped to his knees beside Gerald, fingers finding the pulse point. Weak, thready, cardiac event. "What are you doing?" Vanessa's voice pitched high. "Saving his life. Get me the AED. Now." She froze. "Now." She ran. Marcus tilted Gerald's head, checked airway, started compressions. His hands moved with precision. 30 compressions, 2 breaths. The rhythm was automatic, burned into muscle memory. Caleb was awake, watching with wide eyes. Alana was standing over them. "You know what you're doing." "Yeah." Another round of compressions. Sweat dripped down Marcus's face. "You're not just security." "Not now, lady." Vanessa returned with the AED. Marcus ripped open Gerald's shirt. "Place the pads. Hit the button." The machine analyzed. Shock advised. "Clear." Gerald's body jerked. The machine analyzed again. Rhythm restored. Gerald gasped, eyes fluttering open. The cabin erupted in applause. Marcus sat back on his heels, breathing hard. His hands were shaking now, adrenaline crash hitting. Vanessa stared at him like he performed a miracle. "Who are you?" Marcus looked at Caleb, then at Alana. "Just a dad," he said quietly. The captain's voice came over the intercom. "Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be making an emergency landing in Louisville for medical assistance. I'd like to thank the passenger who provided aid. Sir, if you could identify yourself to the crew, we'd like to get your information." Vanessa was kneeling beside Marcus. "Please, your name, your medical background." Marcus hesitated. Alana was watching him, those analytical eyes, taking everything in. "Marcus Hayes," he said finally. "Former Army combat medic. 8th deployment, forward surgical team." The cabin went quiet again. Vanessa's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you. You saved his life." Marcus stood, wiping his hands on his pants. Just did what needed doing. But when he looked at Alana, he saw something new in her expression. Respect. The emergency landing took 30 minutes. Paramedics took Gerald away. The passengers were ushered into the airport to wait for a new flight. Alana approached Marcus in the terminal. "There's a VIP lounge. You and Caleb should wait there. We're fine here." It wasn't a suggestion. She gestured to her assistant, who'd appeared from economy. "Jordan, take them to the United Club. My account." Before Marcus could argue, she was gone. Phone already at her ear, heels clicking on tile. The VIP lounge was quiet. Leather couches. Free food. Caleb was in heaven, piling cookies onto a plate. Marcus sank into a chair, exhausted. The adrenaline was gone. In its place, the familiar weight of everything he carried. Alana appeared 20 minutes later. She'd taken off her suit jacket. Without it, she looked smaller, more human. She sat across from Marcus. "Combat medic." "Yeah. Why security?" Marcus watched Caleb at the snack bar. "PTSD. Couldn't handle hospitals after I got back. Too many memories. Too much." He trailed off. "My wife helped me find work I could do. When she got sick, I had to take whatever hours I could get. Night security paid better. Let me be with Caleb during the day." Alana was quiet for a long moment. "And now?" "Now I'm barely keeping us afloat." The truth came out before he could stop it. "We've been evicted, living in the car. This trip, her family might take Caleb in, give him stability. And you? I'll figure it out. You'd give him up?" The words hit like a fist. Marcus's eyes burned. "I'd do anything for him. Even let him go if it meant he'd be safe." Alana stared at him. For the first time, her armor wasn't just cracked. It was gone. "My parents gave me up," she said quietly. "When I was 8. Told me I was too difficult, too strange. I went into foster care. Spent 10 years bouncing between homes." She looked at her hands. "I built Voscor because I needed to prove I wasn't worthless, that they were wrong." Marcus felt his chest tighten. "They were wrong. Was I?" Her voice was barely audible. "I have money, power, influence, but I don't have anyone. I don't have what you have with him." She nodded toward Caleb. "I don't know how to be soft." "Maybe you don't need to be soft," Marcus said. "Maybe you just need to be real." Alana looked at him then, and something passed between them. Understanding, recognition, connection. Caleb returned with cookies for both of them. "You guys are friends now, right?" he said, grinning. Marcus and Alana exchanged a glance. "Yeah," Marcus said. "I think maybe we are." Before they boarded the new flight, Alana handed Marcus a business card. "When you get to Chicago, call me." "Why?" "Because I need a head of security. Someone I can trust. Someone with your skills." She met his eyes. "Salary, benefits, housing stipend. You and Caleb." Marcus stared at the card. "You don't even know me." "I know enough." She started to walk away, then stopped. "And Marcus? Don't give him up. Fight for him." "He needs you." "How do you know?" "Because I needed someone to fight for me," she said quietly. And no one did. On the new flight, again in first class, courtesy of Alana's insistence, Marcus noticed her assistant, Jordan, acting strangely. Nervous glances, whispered phone calls. Alana was working intensely, unaware. Then her phone buzzed. Her face went white. "No." Marcus leaned over. "What's wrong?" She showed him the screen. A news alert. "Strong. Voscor board initiates emergency vote to remove CEO Alana Voss amid hostile takeover allegations." How is this possible? Her hands were shaking. "I'm on a plane. They knew I'd be unreachable." Marcus looked at Jordan, who was sweating. "Your assistant," Marcus said quietly. Alana's head snapped up. "Jordan?" The assistant wouldn't meet her eyes. "They offered me VP," Jordan whispered. I'm sorry. They said you were going to tank the company. That you were too aggressive. Too much like myself. Alana's voice was dead. Get out of my sight. Jordan fled to economy. Alana stared at her phone. I've lost. By the time we land, it'll be done. Not if you fight, Marcus said. How? I can't even get internet up here. Marcus looked at the seatback screen, looked at Caleb, who was watching them both. Dad used to be really good at computers, Caleb offered. Alana turned to Marcus. Can you hack airplane Wi-Fi? That's illegal. So is corporate espionage. Her eyes were fierce now. Can you do it? Marcus thought of Sarah, thought of Caleb, thought of the eviction notice and the car and the cold nights, thought of second chances. Give me your laptop, he said. Marcus's fingers flew across the keyboard. It had been years, but it came back like breathing. He bypassed the airline's firewall, created a secure tunnel. Rerouted through 3 proxy servers. Alana watched in stunned silence. Where did you learn this? Army intelligence. I was recruited out of MIT. Marcus didn't look up. Specialized in cyber warfare. Did 4 tours in that capacity before I switched to medical. He cracked through another layer. There, you're online. Alana grabbed the laptop. She pulled up her company's secure server. Started typing. I need evidence. The emails authorizing the coup. Jordan would have left traces. I can find them, Marcus said. If you trust me with access. She hesitated for only a second, then handed him her credentials. Marcus dove into Voscor's system. Found Jordan's email archive. There, exchanges with 3 board members. Plans laid out in detail. The timeline, the vote, the payoff. Got it, Marcus said. All of it. Alana's smile was razor sharp. Forward everything to my lawyer and the board's legal counsel. And leak it to TechCrunch. That'll destroy them. That's the idea. Marcus hit send. 30 minutes later, Alana was on a video call with her lawyer. Connection choppy but functional. The emails are authenticated, her lawyer confirmed. Jordan and the 3 board members are implicated in conspiracy to commit fraud. The vote's been suspended. The board wants an emergency meeting when you land. Alana's expression was ice and fire. Tell them I'll be there, with my head of security. She ended the call. Looked at Marcus. You haven't accepted the job yet. I haven't been to Chicago yet, Marcus said. Haven't seen if Caleb's grandparents actually want him. They don't deserve him. Maybe not. But I have to try. For Sarah. Alana nodded slowly. Then I'll wait. But Marcus, that offer stands. Whatever you decide. Caleb was asleep between them, head on Marcus's shoulder. He trusts you, Alana said quietly. That's rare. He trusts everyone. Gets it from his mom. No. Alana met his eyes. He gets it from you. They landed in Chicago at sunset. The terminal was crowded. Marcus spotted Sarah's parents by baggage claim, her mother's tight smile, her father's crossed arms. They'd never approved of him. Working class. No pedigree. Not good enough for their daughter. And they'd been proven right, hadn't they? He couldn't even keep a roof over Caleb's head. Caleb gripped his hand. I don't want to go with them, Dad. Just for a little while, buddy. Until I get on my feet. No. Caleb's voice cracked. I want to stay with you. Sarah's mother approached. Marcus, we've arranged for Caleb's room. We think it's best if what? Marcus's voice was rough. If you take him, because I'm failing. You are struggling, she said gently. We just want to help. Marcus looked at his son. Saw Sarah's eyes looking back at him. Saw trust. I am struggling, Marcus said. But I'm his father, and I'm not giving up. Sarah's mother softened. Then let us help you both, not take him. Support you. Marcus felt something break open in his chest. You mean that? Our daughter loved you, she said quietly. That has to mean something. That night, in Sarah's parents' guest room, with Caleb asleep beside him, Marcus called the number on Alana's card. She answered on the first ring. You're calling. The job, Marcus said. It real? Starts Monday, if you want it. I want it. Good. A pause. How's Caleb? Happy. Safe. And you? Marcus looked at his sleeping son. Getting there. Marcus. Her voice was different now. Softer. Thank you. For today? For everything. Thank you, he said, for seeing us. I'll see you Monday. She hung up. Marcus set the phone down, closed his eyes. For the first time in 2 years, the weight felt bearable. Marcus stood in Alana's glass-walled office, wearing a suit that actually fit, head of security badge clipped to his belt. Caleb's drawing a family of 3 stick figures pinned to the corkboard behind her desk. A new firewall's operational, he reported. We're secure. Good. Alana looked up from her computer. She was smiling, actually smiling. Caleb still coming by after school? If that's okay. It's more than okay. She stood, moved to the window overlooking the city. Marcus, I need to tell you something. What? I'm taking a vacation. 2 weeks. And I'm terrified. He laughed. That's good. Being terrified means you're doing something right. She turned to him. Come with us. They picked Caleb up from school together. He ran to them, backpack bouncing, grinning wide. Dad, Alana, guess what? I got an A on my science project. That's amazing, buddy. Marcus lifted him up. Alana ruffled his hair. We're celebrating. Ice cream? We can go to the place with the waffle cones. We can go anywhere you want, Alana said. They walked to the car together. 3 people who'd been broken, now building something new. As they drove away from the school, Caleb in the back seat chattering about his day, Alana reached over and took Marcus's hand. Thank you, she said quietly, for teaching me how to land. Marcus smiled. Thank you for teaching me how to fly. And for the first time in years, the sky ahead looked limitless. That night, Marcus tucked Caleb into bed. The boy looked up at him with Sarah's eyes. Dad, are we going to be okay now? Marcus thought of the eviction notice he'd framed and hung in his new office, a reminder of how far they'd come. Thought of Alana, waiting in the living room, with hot chocolate and a movie. Thought of the family they were building, fragile and strange and perfect. Yeah, buddy, Marcus whispered, kissing his forehead. We're going to be more than okay. We're going to be home. And in that moment, in that room, with his son's breathing evening out into sleep, and the sound of laughter from the next room, Marcus Hayes finally believed it.